Time is of the essence. We must assist our allies.
February last month was a banger. I mean, how many games did we get? Let's see, we got 2 good games and 2 bad games. We could have got 3, but, well, Assassin's Creed Shadow like to play smart. Here's the thing about release date. The one thing you need to know is that every game is competing with your money. Not all of them is going to get the same positive reception. Some will get at least 1,000 or 10,000. Some will get past 1 million or 1 million at this point. Here, let me show you. Okay, now the thing is you have to know is that before we react to Very Dark, let's look at the player count. See this? This is Lost Soul Aside. No, Lost Record Bloom and Rage. The release date is February 18th, last month. See this? This is the all-time peak. So let's check Avowed. Much better. See this? Same day. And now let's look another thing. Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's a lot. Let's look another one that's recently. Monster Hunter Wilds. Take a look. This is the highest one. Before we get to that, let's react to this. Because some people, they will not accept when people don't buy their games, which, as a consumer, you have the right to voice your concern. Only the East understand this. How come the West, well, unless of course you're indie, don't understand this?
Memberships. Now, I can completely accept the fact that not every single game is going to be for me, but the problem arises when you have developers and social media managers and companies attacking all gamers or trying to silence criticism, because even if you don't like what I have to say, that doesn't mean that it is not relevant. And there are so many people behind Don't Nod, the developers of Bloom and Rage, who are silencing gamers, and also people within the industry who are just generally upset that this game is not a smashing success. And maybe if you were actually making a game for real gamers and not this fictitious modern audience, you'd be doing better, but that isn't happening. So Lost Records Bloom and Rage is a game that is supposed to be kind of a spiritual successor to Life is Strange. It is Don't Nod. It's LGBTQ+, it's got female protagonists. These are all of the tags that they have on Steam. And this is not typically a game that would do well. It's a bit cringy, bit girl power, right? It's clearly supposed to be something akin to a Life is Strange. It's not so vastly different than they went in some crazy new modern direction. It just does not seem like a particularly great game. And now that it's been out for a little while, we can kind of judge the player numbers, and they are abysmal. As you can see, the all-time peak was 14 days ago at release, and it did a whopping 1,990, and players in game right now are 423. Now, this isn't a game that I would expect to compete with something like Monster Hunter Wilds, which has 1 million people in game at all times, but you would think that it would do a little bit better given they got to throw around the Life is Strange name, that there were supposed to be people lining up for woman power experiences, but clearly that did not happen. And now we have developers on LinkedIn melting down over this, and on the official Don't Nod X account, they're silencing people. So let's start off with this LinkedIn post. It says, on consumer responsibility, the penny still hasn't dropped for many consumers. I was browsing reaction to the Lost Records reviews this morning and couldn't believe what I was reading. The reviews aren't that great. I'll wait for episode 2. I was interested, but I'm going to pass. These sentiments coming from self-selecting consumers who are presumably interested in its themes and would claim to be supportive of its development, but who are withholding commitment. We do not have to give you our money. Consumers have no responsibility. Yes, if you want a certain type of game made, one would assume you would want to support games that are similar so that developers see the demand for it, but that does not mean that we have to line up to buy every single one. It's like Souls-likes. I love Souls-likes. I play tons of them, but that does not mean that I am like legally obligated to buy one if I don't think that it looks good. And when you have a game like this that, yes, does have content that is episodic, it's released every couple of weeks, there are people who do not want to deal with that. It's like with TV shows. People wait until the last or the second to last episode of a series to binge through the rest of it because they don't want to wait for the suspense. Some people just don't like that. And the same thing goes with episodic video games.
Yeah, that is quite true. For me, I just wait for the last episode, or perhaps the next episode, to see what's happening. First of all, foremost, Let's take, for example, Disorder. Yes, they have a low player count, but the question you ask yourself, why didn't the developer who made that game, Disorder 2025, didn't come out and attack gamers? And another thing, there's a game that I recently played called Bright Memory Infinity. I didn't see them attacking gamers. The consumer have every right to reject. That's the reason why they call voting with your wallet. Based on this, it says buy at full price, ideally pre-ordering it, ideally buying it a deluxe edition or deluxe version, play it, get other people to buy it, and play it. The old don't ask question, just consume product and get excited for next product, which doesn't work anymore. Let's continue forward. We're gonna react a bit, and then we'll make our comparison.
Games. To reiterate, they say, as a consumer, there are ways you support a product. 1, buy it full price, ideally pre-ordering it and ideally buying the deluxe version. 2, playing it. 3, getting other people to buy it and play it. You must buy if it has themes that you support. People within the industry are so egotistical. It's pretty insane. I understand coming out and saying, listen, if you like the themes, you like the characters, you like the way that it looks, support developers. But at the same time, you cannot demand that we purchase something. This is like insane behavior, at least in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to watch the whole entire trailer and react to it, but it is supposed to be very akin to Life is Strange. It even feels maybe a little bit like an Alan Wake 2, a little bit creepy, a little bit mysterious, but it's supposed to be very like relatable content. You're just this group of girlfriends who I guess can romance each other, but are just supposed to be very silly and funny, but also going through their teenage years together, and it just might appeal to a group of people out there, but a very small one. At that, I personally, as a woman myself, find really no interest in playing as any of these characters or romancing each other, as they're on their summer vacation, just hanging out, doing random things. Again, it's perfectly fine if this is a game for you, but very clearly there are not a lot of people out there who this should be aimed towards that are even interested in it. That's also not the only situation we have surrounding this game. If it was just one person on LinkedIn demanding you buy it, that would be one thing, but you have Don't Not Entertainment straight up silencing people who are criticizing this game, and this is what I will never understand with companies, is why they feel the need to do this. I get that as a developer, you are passionate about what you've put time and effort into. You love your characters, you love the world building, you love the creation itself. I want developers to feel confident in what they've created, but you're also not making it for yourself, and there are bound to be people who do not like your product, and instead of silencing them, you should allow them to voice what they like and what they don't like, what it is that they think isn't really clicking with them, what they think you could do better in the future.
Sorry I had to get it longer. See, here's the thing. How come East doesn't do this? Both the East and the West, they both passion, yet the West attack gamers. Why is that? Look, the East, when they create game, they just create it. They know that they have passion, they just create. And I'm assuming every Eastern developers will ask their audience what they want to do in the future, or what kind of updates they want in the future. And most importantly, the East doesn't demand that you buy it, they just create it. They let the market choose it. And every Western keeps on telling is that, or perhaps wondering, why are the East are getting richer while the West are losing or getting kaput when it comes to release date. Let's take February last month, for example. There were 4 games. 2 are made in the West. No, wait, 3. 3 were made in the West, only 1 is made in the East. Now, out of those 3 games that are made in the West, only 1 managed to get past 200,000. That is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm certain some of you have played it, and I'm certain you don't have any issues on it. The other 2 is Avowed, and most importantly, this game, Lost Record, Blooms and Rage. I can't even say that. And not only that, don't you know that Lost Records, Bloom and Rage released on the same day as Avowed? Let's take another game for example. Black Myth Wukong and also Dustborn. You know what? Why don't I show you? Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong was released on August 20th. Let's check Dustborn. Same day. Only 1 people playing it. Dustborn, take a look at this. I want you to pause the video from each shot. Pause this video. Check a look at this game, Dustborn, and this one. Here. Tell me in the comments, which of these is going to succeed when they release the game on the same day. When it comes to launch day, they will have to wait, or perhaps they will have to time it right. Since the release of Stellar Blade 2024, Shift Up must have known that they're still figuring out when to release it, because they knew if they release at the wrong time, not anybody was going to buy their game, even if there is a word of mouth. When they heard about the Suicide Squad debacle or Sweet Baby Inc. debacle, they knew that 2024 is the time. Same goes for Black Myth Wukong. They knew the success of Shift Up is increasing. They want to capitalize on it. And lo and behold, they released it on August 20th, and boom, 2 million players worldwide, despite the hit piece. Same goes for Monster Hunter Wilds beta test. That beta test was released on October 31st. On the same day, Dragon Age Veilguard was released. Capcom knew the discourse around Dragon Age Veilguard was negative, so they knew this was the chance to release that beta test. And how many people play that beta test? Here's another game, Mecha Break. How many players in it? Mecha Break Demo. Mecha Break Demo released 10 days ago, and it's now 317,000. The release date, it's unconfirmed when, and the demo released on the 20th of February, which, if I had to make a guess, that's 2 days after Avowed and Lost Record Bloom and Rage release. So I'm assuming the demo knew the discourse around Avowed. They must have heard it, what Matt Hansen is doing, so they capitalize on it. How come the East doesn't demand it? And when they're successful, what they do is just create another game. That's it. They don't demand players to buy it or play it. They just let the market choose it. They create their game, make sure it's polished as possible, there's no bugs, issues, or anything, and then they let the market choose it. And lo and behold, they got results. Unlike in the West, when their game failed, well, unless you're indie at least, I know some indies don't attack gamers. Western AAA devs, when the game fails, they just attack gamers. That's not a good sign.
So the enemy has proposed that you defect. In that case, perhaps we should use their desire to recruit you against them by planting you within their army. Gain their trust, and before long, we will give the signal for you to destroy their ranks and resolve from within.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, theories, or comparison, or you just want to see me play games. Visit my first and third channel up here or link in the description.